Welcome to the Mad Commodore breakfast shop. Well, I say breakfast, ain't half dark out there. What time is it? Well, from the few remaining segments working on my fantastic LED watch, I'm gonna guess it's about 5:30. And as we're in October, oh bloody hell, better finish the kitchen by Christmas. So, we're here with hot caffeinated coffee, some sort of dispute going on with the cats, hot caffeinated coffee, and a sticky bun that's real agony actually. It's BUN for number, or Nintendo I should say. Yeah, because I can't eat that until I've actually finished making these videos. So I won't be able to touch anything after that. You just can't make, these are homemade sticky buns, not the cheap shit. And of course the usual. There you go. Now someone just well, they might have commented in the last 7 hours actually, that Shadow of the Beast 1 was a real letdown, or they were agreeing with me saying that, on the Atari ST, and that Shadow of the Beast is 2 is much better on the ST. Now that's probably because Shadow of the Beast 2 is shit on the Amiga. Those graphics are horrible. They're not impressive at all, either technically or artistically. When you compare that to what your first impression of Shadow of the Beast was, fantastic music, wow, look at that parallax kind of fantasy countryside scrolling business, you know, not the other levels, the one where you start. There's something going on at the moment with the cats. I'm not sure what's going on at the moment. God, I'm going to lose my train of thought. Now, let me get on with Shadow of the Beast 2, what I expected. Different but just as impressive graphics, different but just as impressive music, and the music for Shadow of the Beast 2, which should have happened in an alternate timeline, you can go and find on Wrath of the Demon, if you ask me. Anyway, you know, everything is the same quality, just a little bit less difficult, i.e. wouldn't it be fantastic if you didn't have to spend all of your weeks in, was it 1989 that came out, or 87? Now what, I think it's 89. Yeah, Psygnosis did a lot of stinky games way before Shadow of the Beast 1. Pteropods, Barbarian, Deep Space, these are horrible games. That's what you expect on a Sinclair QL. Unreasonably, but that's what you expect. And, you know, what would happen in that time? You'd come home from work, eat your dinner, spend the rest of your waking hours trying to get past level 1, and then go to sleep, go to work, come back, eat your dinner, Shadow of the Beast 1. No one wants a life like that, mate, when you're working. It's alright if you're a kid, but a kid couldn't afford an Amiga 500. You know, that was a lot of money back then. Most kids would have to settle for an 8-bit computer back then. You know, you're talking the majority. Maybe an Amiga or ST, if your parents had really good jobs and they were both working and you hadn't borrowed too much money buying an excessively large house or wasted all your money on rent. literally have nothing to show for after decades. So didn't quite turn out that way. But Wrath of the Demon is on the Atari ST, and it really does show what things should have turned out like as far as the programming. And it also shows that, you know, you can design a basic game engine, like say, oh, I need a palette change on the raster line 80 and 90 and 105 and things like that, and you know, I do have to have so many levels of parallax scrolling, non-overlapping mostly, and then from that point onward, not a single line of 68,000 machine code should ever be shared between the ST and Amiga. Now, of course, Wrath of the Demon has got shit sound on the Atari ST, and I've said that, you know, that sound chip is ColecoVision Amstrad CPC quality, which on a computer that cost 400 quid for the 520 STFM when it first came out, which was reduced to 300 quid when the Amiga 500 came out, and then had to go back up to 400 quid because of the whatever problem caused the RAM prices to spike first in the late 80s, and then it happened again around 1989. There is definitely something going on with the cats. This is not their usual hour. Maybe it's the lack of ultraviolet from the sunlight. They're not actually fighting though, they're just, it's like I've given them all their year's supply of Webbox in one go. And if you have cats, and you've ever given a cat Webbox, oof, count your fingers after you've done that, that's all I've got to say. But the interesting thing is, the Atari ST did have a CD-ROM drive shown, I think when the ST was launching in 1985. I think it's on the ITV database, I think it's a PCW show. And it is there, and they just couldn't, they couldn't make the numbers work, because basically, like the Commodore 1541 disk drive that Mitsumi, I believe, made for Commodore under license, it was too many people making a profit along the line, and the CD-ROM was already expensive at the manufacturing cost level. So if you have two levels of profit on top of that, and then you've got to add the distributor's cut and then the retailer's cut, you just couldn't make it happen. But if you think about it, Wrath of the Demon, which I believe is on the CD-TV, however without CD audio, the way you would do it is you'd have music, any kind of music, as CD audio tracks, and you just use the Atari ST sound chip for like sound effects, and then it would be fine, you know, and you get around the problem. And I reckon that was part of the strategy with the Atari ST. It was like, well, yeah, look, it's got a shit sound chip, we're not going to admit that, but what you don't know is we're planning on bringing out a CD-ROM by Christmas 1985, and hopefully by 1986 really good games will be coming out on the CD, and the musical quality of the sound chip in there won't be an issue, and you can certainly live up with scratchy sound effects. Fucking 286 PC owners did, what was that shit called, Sound Blaster? Rubbish. Their fucking samples on games in Sound Blaster was shit. And then they had Sound Blaster 16, which it was 16-bit quality, but the audio quality of the actual audio output was like the cheapest, smallest mini hi-fi you could get back then. Horrible quality. You would not want to listen to music from a CD-ROM through that output. So yeah, and then of course after all that, it's not like there was YouTube back then, so it's not like you'd be going on CompuNet on the Amiga and watching some fat bloke like me. Well, I'm not fat anymore, I've lost 3 stone actually. And it can't be AIDS because I haven't had a girlfriend in decades, so that's not it. I told you, women of my age are not attractive to me, so I don't care. Yeah, if I had both my hands amputated, then maybe that becomes an option. Yes, it's an interesting breakfast episode. Certainly unusual. I think they're just playing with like bits and pieces up there. I think there's a broken door handle that they've found, and they find all sorts of stuff and then hide it, and then I can't fucking find it. And then they'll find it again later. Yeah, so, but that obviously didn't happen, the CompuNet thing. You know, the only reason YouTube, things like YouTube didn't happen before is because the technology wasn't there. You could stream a deluxe paint animation at 25 frames per second. I've got no idea what they've found. Sounds quite heavy. It's the second time I'm having to turn the camera off. I will make this video and I will finally get to the point, but I'm finishing up by saying the technology of the Amiga was not what held back the Amiga. The tragic design decisions of the late 80s, that obviously did. We were living in a time of zero fucking taste. Have you ever seen a Ferrari Testarossa with one wing mirror? It looks absolutely stupid. I wouldn't buy a car that looked like that for fucking £2,000. Never mind fucking 100,000. But anyway, that led me on to think, well, there must be Wrath of the Demon on the C64 because it pops up on the auto suggestions on YouTube. So I did go and check to see exactly how good Wrath of the Demon is, and the scrolling bits are really impressive actually. And the intro is really nice. And you know, there's no technical actually it might be 1 megabyte. So you might need an Atari 1040 ST to run it. But that came out in early 1986 anyway. So I thought I'd try it out, and here we are. And on one of the 2 archives I've managed to find a twin disc image, which is no good to me because I've got an internal SD to IC with no disc swap buttons. Flame's not bright enough. Now I can't see the bloody Y key. Of course, we have no idea if this is going to work. Green light has come on the SD to IAC. Will we actually get to play any of the game? And then we'll go back to the C64 version of Shadow the Beast later. I'm not a fan of the Shadow the Beast Night remix on the C64 when it comes on. I don't know why they had to have a black background. They should have had like green and blue like the Amiga, grass and sky. Even if it was just like, you know, light grey, light blue to blue, only a few pixels for the brighter colours, just something, you know, and just a solid black background. I don't like it. Is this joystick port 1? Bloody is. Right, well the screen's gone red and the light is on. On the SD to IC, this might not even work. It's all this hassle on and off with the camera because the cats are being a bit weird at the moment. You know, to be fair, I usually sleep through this particular hour, but I just wanted to see, and this is what the reality should be like as far as SD to IEC goes. It's just like the job is nowhere near finished. You should just be able to see a comment on your YouTube channel. Everyone should have a YouTube channel, and oh, lovely. So that was space then. Right, so it is joystick port 2. I did find that a bit weird. Well, luckily the trainer options are working, so maybe not. I couldn't see the energy going down. That's alright, this is the best bit. So this is like that Mastertronic game Kane and Outlaw, I believe, by Ultimate, as far as gameplay goes. Am I actually losing health? Ah, right, I think the red dots turn yellow with every hit, yeah. I'll press bloody yes on all the trainers, I'm sure I did. Right, that's really interesting because, again, like I say, I thought Shadow of the Beast was not as good as Wrath of the Demon on the Atari ST, and I was just wondering if that was the case with the C64 as well. I mean, the game engine's fine, the music's phenomenal, but some of the artwork in Shadow of the Beast, yeah. But this is sort of like trying to rip off Shadow of the Beast, and it's not even the best it could possibly be. Oh, luckily the bright boot screen is illuminating the keys just enough. Now we have to find a copy of Shadow of the Beast that works. Now I did actually make a... Oh no, I'll swap the SD cards over, ain't I? So we have to type FB64 in the bloody dark. Well, I'm doing alright there. Thank fuck for that. So... where the hell is the D81 directory? Certainly not here. No. I'm pretty sure that it'll be a 2-disc game, and we might not be able to play it because you might have to swap discs. bloody hell, I'm just going to do everything alphabetical. I'm sure all of them have a D81 directory. Here we go, it could be an old root. Here's hoping. No. I'm not seeing Shadow of the Beast either. I'll probably edit all this shit out. No, it's called 81, there you go. I've got two collections of D81 discs from different sources. There you go, Shadow of the Beast. So we found it, it does exist on this SD card. And, oh crap. Alright, well that's easy enough. That's the only thing that looks remotely like the right thing. So just got to hope that it works. Sticky buns are in your future, Mad Commodore. I made them myself. Well, I can see the glow of the green light, which is the advantage of doing these before dawn. Although it's actually just about starting to brighten. So this could be a conversion of an uncrapped image. Now it's going to be interesting. So I press space, is it loading? In the old days, people would have the courtesy of telling me, please wait, loading. Yeah, 90s games weren't like that. They were like, fuck you, stare at my logo and wonder if it's working. I must admit I can't tell which of the D81 directories has the most compatible collection of D81 disk images. And if you have an internal SD to IEC, that's important because there's no button. It's just literally an SD card slot. And some wires coming out of it. Well, the green light flickered off and then back on for a second. Running commentary with potentially loading, not loading. It probably is going to work. Don't say that, Mad Commodore. Well, this is a bit weird. We've had about 3 minutes of gameplay footage. So the music is better on this than Wrath of the Demon on the C64. Yeah, I'm like, why would you have those colours as well? I mean, you could have had light grey instead of yellow. They're the same brightness as far as your TV's concerned. It is a nice routine. And they've maxed out the size of the trees a bit there at the trunk, which I don't like. I don't like the sky being black, at least if that was blue. I can understand if they can't do any raster splits, that's fine, but anyway. So yeah, I am impressed by the actual game engine. That is quite impressive. The size of the trees. It's just the artwork could be better and more like the Amiga. We'll see about the sprites. And the music is really nice actually. And yeah, the game engine is fine. It's just different graphics that are moving about when you move your zip stick. It makes no difference whether you're on Amiga or C64. I think you go this way. It's a fiendishly hard game. Right, this is what you do when you first got Shadow of the Beast. And hopefully you make it to the door. I mean, Shadow of the Beast 1. Amiga format gave it like 67% or some shit. And they mentioned it was expensive. But in the same issue, exactly the same issue, they reviewed a copy of a deluxe computer Scrabble, which cost, I think it was $27.99. And they gave it like somewhere between 80 and 89%. I'm sure it was 80 something percent and quite high. And I'm like, what the fuck are DMA supposed to do with that? They pick up their copy of Amiga format, they see their review, and then they see that, and they're like, fuck's sake, I could have written deluxe Scrabble on the Amiga sitting on the toilet. You know what I mean? Including the fucking music, graphics and fucking game engine. Why would you do that? What kind of arseholes were reviewing games at Amiga format? I think I didn't like Amiga format actually. It came over a bit too much like, yeah, you are actually too nerdy. You're not like the kind of person who should be judging arcade games. You probably grew up on text adventures and shitty fucking strategy games with rubbish graphics. Yeah, I don't really need that. That's what your grandparents are for, mate. You go and visit your grandparents, you have a nice game of chess. Yeah, these graphics, which are really smooth at 25 frames per second, because I'm not getting the punch sound, and that is annoying because I don't know if I'm registering a hit psychologically. They should have interrupted the music. The graphics here are very US gold. Not bad US gold. Not Bionic Commando, but the sprites are better. It's the background graphics are shit, and the pattern they've got for the parallax is shit. Do something else. We know it's a fucking repeating pattern, but do like vines going straight down, like Vulcan Venture. Obviously not the same green colour. The parallax is not as good as Scorpius. Yeah, look, there you go, mate. For fuck's sake. So, I mean, Shadow of the Beast, I don't actually need to review it any more than this. Because Shadow of the Beast, quite frankly, is an insanely difficult game. And if you had a C64 and an Amiga, and one auntie bought you Shadow of the Beast on the C64, which I think was a cartridge only game, I'm not sure. Definitely didn't come out on tape. Might have come out on disc later, but I think it was meant for the C64 console, the GS. But yeah, like I said, it's the same game. The graphics are not. It's like, wow, I didn't know the C64 could do it that well. It's kind of the opposite side of that. The music is really nice. The game engine is really nice. The parallax is all there. It's just some of the big map graphics are not great. That's really a problem. So you're not missing much with the shit video quality. Don't complain, innit? Sticky bun time.